Do you support the death penalty? Why or why not? 1 month into the fall term and you're already asking people to write your argumentative paper for you? Not doing it. I support it in principle. Some people are evil, like that guy who intentionally ran over and killed 6 people and was defiant in court. But I also don't trust law enforcement and the justice system to be fair and impartial about it. I'm sort of torn, which I suppose means I should err on the side of caution and be against the death penalty. No. Judicial systems that lock up the innocent can't be trusted to execute only the guilty. I think the death penalty is the easy way out. Rotting in jail is worse than dying. It seems that way to people outside prison. A lot of people who've been in prison for a few years don't hate it. Free food, free bed, socializing with friends. It becomes normal. People are great at adapting. Most of us only hear horror stories about prison. When one has a life sentence, or a several-decade sentence, I think they learn to not hate life. No. The government should not be given so much power it can kill its citizens. Also, most arguments for the death penalty don't hold up. It's not cheaper than life imprisonment. It's also worth noting that most people on death row couldn't even afford a lawyer and quite a few have eventually been exonerated. Heard this somewhere else, but it pretty much sums up what I think. People who commit some crimes deserve death, but nobody deserves the power to kill them. Only in cases where guilt of murder is established well beyond a reasonable doubt, like crystal clear video of the murder and corroborating DNA evidence. The real problem is you can never set up a justice system that will only put to death people who 100% did it, because any incompetence or conflict of interest or straight-up corruption at any step of the process can fuck things up. Even DNA evidence is handled by human technicians in labs, and you can find news stories where they mixed up samples, misinterpreted results, or simply told police what they wanted to hear because they get more funding when their results lead to convictions. Also, I say, did it, for the sake of simplicity, but it's often more complicated than that. What if someone 100% did it, captured on camera, but somebody off camera was holding them at gunpoint and forcing them to commit the crime? How do you create a fair and consistent system that can handle all the possible weird cases, that ensures cops and prosecutors and judges are all ethical and do everything by perfect procedure and that the defense lawyer is competent and doesn't fuck up the defense? Death is just too irreversible to put in the hands of a system that will always be flawed. No. In the US it's significantly more expensive to have people on death row, but aside from the logistical nightmares it also never brought anyone back to life. It just seems barbaric to kill people, whatever the reason. Nope. Too many innocent people get thrown into prison. No. The justice system should be aimed at rehabilitation, or else incapacitation. The death penalty is only ever retributive. We have no business having the government hurt someone just for the sake of hurting them. Edit. So if there are people that can't be rehabilitated, we lock them up to prevent them from hurting others. We don't kill them, and we don't try to make them miserable. No. No one has the right to take another person's life. It's not for humans to decide. And before PPL say, but they killed other people, okay? Does that make it right for you to then kill them? Two wrongs never make a right. It's not okay for anyone to take another person's life, even in the name of justice. No, I think it is inherently wrong. I don't think anybody should be killed for their actions, and it seems entirely incongruous to say, yeah, you shouldn't have killed that person because killing is wrong, so I sentence you to be killed. Life is the most sacred thing on this planet, and nobody deserves to have theirs taken away. No. Even if one innocent person is sentenced to the death penalty, that is one person too many. No. In theory, I could get behind it in regards to criminals that will always be a danger to society and will never reform, such as Anders Breivik, but the issue is, if death penalty is legal, then innocent people will keep getting executed. It's just not possible to avoid, and even the clause reserved for the most extreme of cases could end up potentially misused. Also, locking people up for life is simply cheaper, looking at it the pragmatic way. I think that everyone has the right to life, but if you commit a crime so heinous as, kidnapping 2 youth pastors, putting them in the trunk of a car for hours, driving out to the middle of a desert, shooting the man in the head and shooting the woman through the jaw but still keeping her alive while you light the car on fire with her still in it, all while they begged for their lives, I think you should lose your right to life. And to hell with the whole, it's inhumane argument. Good. I hope their death is as painful as possible. In that case you just want revenge. When the state is the agent of vengeance, it sets the example for the citizens. Killing for vengeance is acceptable for all. Don't we expect police in the justice system to be better and hold themselves to a slightly higher standard of conduct and morality than the people they prosecute? Or should we return to vigilante posses and mobs and lynching? We already have armed thugs, guarding ballot boxes. A fringe of the GOP trying to overthrow the government and elect a dictator. The concept of justice is entirely man-made. Pick it apart, and the death penalty is essentially revenge. Revenge is one of the most common motivations for murder. As a result, there's little to differentiate murder from legal execution. You can't position yourself on a high moral footing if you consider taking a life to be an adequate punishment. Furthermore, I suspect most lifers would prefer death than decades of incarceration, so why are they getting an easy way out? Yes, pedos and rapists don't deserve to breath. Nah, I'd rather someone rot in prison and live the rest of their life thinking about what they did. Prison is a far worse punishment. No mercy. It's not though. Facing your planned execution is the most terrifying thing. Think about it, you've received notice that your life ends tonight, at midnight. Are you ready to stop existing, forever? No more anything. Prison is life, albeit not pleasant, but you have life, you have routine, you have news, movies, comedy, drama, you're alive. Even worse is what IIRC, Japan's process is. No notice, no warning. You live every day wondering if today they're going to come get you and finish it. Imagine the anxiety and stress from that one. Some do deserve it, but there are too many holes, corruption and false sentences. I support death penalty. All the people saying it's better for them to rot in jail, if you did a poll you would find, they would rather take life in prison than death penalty. Also, we shouldn't be wasting any more tax dollars on these scum. Death penalty is more expensive. No matter how heinous the crime, I don't think any branch of government should have the right to make decisions regarding citizens' deaths.